Finish. Okay, well, today we're going to talk about the topic that's really common in our society because it's have a relation or correlation with human being, because as a human we have to socialize with other people, but not all the people have a similar personality. So today you're going to talk about, is it important to balance our personality? Okay, I would like to share the slide that I have made. Check, check. Is it my voice clear? Check, check, check. Okay.
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay, before we talk more about this topic, I have energy. Okay, so guys, here my instruction. If you have a characteristic such as highly talk active, means that social oriented, you really like to social with other people, and then you are enthusiastic. Active means that have a hard time to doing nothing, means that you are really active persons. And then you tend to be more extroverted and enjoy being part of crowd situation. And you have a charismatic, mean that charismatic is easy to accomplish, and also highly confident, like you are really like to be center of attention. Please raise your hand if you have this characteristic. No one? Okay, who is? Miss Aprilianti. Okay. Then anyone? Anyone else? Nobody? Okay. The next. Okay, the second, if you are an individual, tend to be more extroverted, and you are described as independent personal, and you really like to decide something. You have a goal-oriented, and you are really ambitious to reach your dream. And also, you have a dominance when you are in organization or you socialize with other people. So that's what its result-oriented outlook make them natural leaders. Please, if you have this characteristic, raise your hand. Raise your hand. Nobody? Okay, continue. The third one, if you are really analytical, have a good analytical, and you have a detail oriented, you really look something detailedly, and then you are deep thinkers, deep feelers, and mostly is such a person that is introvert, means that you try to avoid being singled out in a crowd, and you are a perfectionist. If you have this characteristic, please raise your hand. No one? Who is? Mr. Anga, Miss April. Miss April. Only one, Miss April. Okay, next. And the last characteristic, if you if you are an individual that tend to be relaxed and peaceful, you really have a good or great sympathetic and care about others, and you often try to hide your emotions, and you have a high tolerance, means that at you good at generating ideas or problems to the world and making compromising. You are quiet and easygoing. Please, if you have this characteristics, please raise your hand. Mr. Angga, Miss Safira, Miss Shafira, Miss Chami. Okay, have done. So guys, did you know who are your personality? Okay, if you didn't know, okay, I will tell you. These are four fundamental personality types. If you raise your hand in the first change or in the first step, you are indicated as a sanguine person. Mean that you have a type that is described primarily as being highly thought active, interested, active, and social. And then if you are raise your hand in the second time, it's have a probability that you are a choleric person because you have a characteristic like independence, decisive, goal-oriented, and ambitious person. And the third one, if you raise your hand in the third change, perhaps you are indicated as individuals that have melancholic personality because you have characteristics like such as analytical, detail oriented, deep thinkers, and feelers. And the fourth is phlegmatic. If you are an individual that tend to be relaxed and peaceful, quiet, and easygoing. So before we talk more, check. Before we talk more about personality, I want to ask you, what is personality? Okay, anyone want to give statement or argument or point of view? Please raise your hand. If there is no one, I want to point. One of you, please. Miss Hikmah, are you there? Miss Hikmah?
Chachun.
Okay, Miss Sunshine. Please, time is yours.
Okay, thank you. So personality, it can be related to something like personifying person, something related to the characteristic, the attitudes, behavior, the adjectives that actually attach to someone, the characteristic that it symbolizes someone's appearance. It can also be said like an identity or tendency. And I believe that personality is something that uh, by having it in our mind, we can actually um, have imaginations about the person, even though we never knew about them, we never met about them. And I believe that these personalities, more than just characteristics, but is also described about emotion, about hobbies, about preference, and it can be about anything. But what makes it difference to characteristic is that personality is like ability. I mean, showing particular potential that is not owned by others. So this kinds of personality is uniqueness or something that sometimes this uniqueness is similarizing you with others, but sometimes it become uh, how to say, advantageous comparison between you and others. I think that's from me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Sunshine. Sunshine. Okay, based on what Mr. Sunshine said before, that personality is not only talk about characteristic of someone's, but also about their emotion, their hobby, and so on. So the others, anyone to give additional information, additional insight, please raise your hand. If there is no one that want to raise hand, I want to point Mr. Indrimanov, please. Time is yours.
Angga raised his hand.
Oh, wait. Okay, Mr. Anga, please.
Yes, thank you so much, Miss Chachun. I just want to say that I agree with Mr. Sani's definition or statement before. It's about characteristics owned by people, like whether they are humble, angry, or kind, and those kinds of things. I just want to add something about how people can build their personalities. In my viewpoint, it more comes from the environment, like your families or your friends or your schools. For example, when your family um, always angry with you, and I believe that in the future it will make their children become arrogant, if I'm not mistaken. And I think they will be kind of bad people, I think. So yeah, it's more about the environment, um, where personality comes from. Thank you, Mr. Jim.
Okay, thank you for Mr. Anga. Okay, so the next, wanna give additional? Miss Donna? Miss Donna, are you there? Miss Donna Natasha?
Yes, miss.
Okay, please.
No, no, I have no
Tell
idea,
about
miss.
anything. Tell about anything if you hear word personality. Please, time is yours.
I have no idea, miss. Next.
Miss Donna. Okay, next. Okay, if there is no one, I want to point Mr. Okay, please, Mr. Indrimanov.
Yeah, based on my assumptions, personality is like how the people respond in the something in one situation in one moment, how they respond, how they act. Yeah, so it's called by personality. So this is my statement.
Okay, great arguments. So, based on Mr. Indrimanov said that personality is how the people act or respond something. Okay, if there is no one to give the definition of personality, we're going to continue. The next slide. Next. Okay. The personality is refers to individual differences in characteristic patterns of thinking, feeling, and behaving. The study of personality focuses on two broad areas. One is understanding individual differences in particular personality characteristics, such as sociability or irritability, and beside that, The other is understanding how the various parts of a person come together as a whole. Okay, the next is we are going to talk about what are the factors that influence our personality. Okay, if someone have a argument about the factors that influence our personality, please raise your hand. Mr. Sunshine, please. Time is yours.
Thank you. So I believe that I'm a typical person who would like to show my tendency that the factors hugely impacting in the change of personality or the emergence of personality of someone is external. So uh, I believe that there is no anyone that is created or you know like they are not extrovert and introvert in the very beginning. There must be some people, there must be a typical environment shaping their personality and attitude. For example, like introvert person, it can be said that it's not only based on genetic or they say internal, but introvert person probably having some trauma, traumatized, victimized due to a particular event in the past that actually hurt them and make them suffering, and they finally become social phobia and having a difficulty in expressing their emotion, and also arrange some word into delicate sentences and convey their expression of feelings. And also, uh, conversely, the extrovert person, it doesn't mean that they have been talkative since the very beginning. It can be created, for example, how the parents actually influence them to become extrovert,
Check, check, check.
parents, but also the trend, the lifestyle, social media. I believe that it also impactful in influencing someone's personality. For example, like it has been rising the discussion between good looking or good attitude, good looking or good attitude, right? So everyone say that good attitude first, but at the end of the day, everyone will judge someone based on the appearance. So good attitude is like is so everyone is like trying to change themselves to become not only good attitude but also good looking because the demands of the market, because everyone want to see it. And that's why we adjust ourselves to become someone's that everyone's hope, that everyone expect, and that's going to be a big challenge. How not to get involved by everyone's trend, but at the same time, yeah, we need to make sure that we have a good personality as well. I don't know what I'm talking. I think that's for me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Sunshine. And then the next one, Mr. Indra, please. Want to give additional?
Yeah, based on my opinions, yeah, it's like what's happening today when the people forced to work at their home. So for several persons that doesn't have the personality, working alone, working without people, sometimes they lose their energy. It's like what happened for me in the several years ago, several months ago. Yeah, I feel that I really got a suffer when the first time the government asking me to work at home. That currently I work with the people. I work in the crowded situation that I got the energy because of the situation. But day by day, yeah, when I have failed it, when I try to force myself to work in that situations by at home, yeah, currently I can feel that we become more introvert. Yeah, time by time I lost my energy to meet with many people because the environment, this pandemics, changed me to become a different person before pandemics. So this is the reasons that as far as I'm concerned, that the external thing is like a pandemic is one of the big percentage that change people exactly. So this is my point of view. Thank you.
Can you hear my voice clearly? Check, check.
Yes, audible.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Indre. I saw that Miss Shafira raised raise your hand before. Please, if you want to say something, time is yours.
Did I raise my hand before? Okay, maybe it's out of sudden, but that's okay. um, um, I think I couldn't more agree about Mr. Shanshan statement before. Like in the previous day, I think there are no introvert or extrovert kind of things. It is more like we are shaping by our environment or by our surroundings. So it could be internal, external, and others. In the internal factor, I think it is more like uh, shaped by our family. It is like it could be directly or indirectly. Indirectly, just like probably in a parenting a section or whatever is that our parent try to make us to be like this or like that, or indirectly it could be more like a problem that happens that come up to our daily life. Like it also shape our behavior, our manner, or our characteristic because of it could be like a pressure or constraint or something that just somehow make us to be like this and that. For an example, just like uh, in this just like Mr. Indre one have said before, in this pandemic there are so many people think that in this pandemic a lot of young people, this is the what what is it life quarter life crisis. Yeah, that quarter life crisis is like because we are shaping by the situation that made us to be stressful and um, yeah, and etc. So yeah, that's, I think that's from me. I don't know what I'm talking about. That's yeah.
Okay, thank you, Miss Shafira. I totally agree with your statement. You say that our personality is shaped by the situations because we know that born, we are born not directly get a personality. For example, like what is it? I am I would I feel that in the previous time I was an introvert person, but day by day, because of environment, built me or built my what is it personality and forced me to be an extrovert person. Finally, I can change my personality before. So I totally believe that personality is uh, can influence by an external factors or internal factors. So the other, you want to give additional information? Miss Stacy, perhaps? Miss Stacy, are you there?
Mr.
Miss
Angga,
Chami. Okay, please, Miss Chami.
Okay, thank you, Miss Jajun. I will tell about my point of view about the factor of personality. But before, I think personality is one of grace of from our God, that every personality has its strengths and weaknesses. So I think God have given us the basic personality that in everyone is different. And I think in environment or external factors just influence the personality without change the basic personality. So in my view, we need external to improve our personality to, to improve the weaknesses from our personality. I think that's all.
Okay, thank you, Miss Chami. Anyone want to give additional point of view? If there is no, I want to pour in one of you. Mr. Fadilah Bagaswara, are you there? Mr. Fadilah? Check, check. Mr. Fadilah? Mr. Fadilah? Miss Shafira? Do you want to give additional? Because you are still raising your hand.
I just want to add some. I'd like to highlight some that the personality is it's not static. It's dynamic. So it could change over time. It's like just like you said before that it could change because of several constraints. Just like you said that before that you were introverted person, but it could change that then you will become an extrovert person. Just like me, I was a person that quite careless and ignorant. That one of my personality was. And it could change probably because of you have some experience out there, just like probably you go into you jump into a volunteering project or social project, some kind of that, and you become a sympathetic and empathic person, and it really changes your personality. So yeah, I just want to highlight that it's not static, it's quite dynamic.
Okay. Thank you, Miss Safira. Anyone want to give additional? If there's no,
Mr. Angga.
Can I? I've been raising my hand
okay.
for a long time. Okay. Can I, Miss Chachun?
Please.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Okay, I do agree with the statement saying that the characteristic doesn't emerge within the human being itself, but it's more related to the environment. For example, when you're children, mostly your parents affects your personality, right? And when you becomes adult people, for example, your friends, your social media, for example, would also affect you. And when you become adult, probably your education strongly affect your personalities. Therefore, as what has been mentioned by Mr. Safir before, personality is more dynamic depending on your environment where you are living now, I think. However, the behavior of people, for example, your parents that give or that embed your personalities, I think could also be changed by the environment. I think like social media and also education. For example, why parents act bad attitudes to their children? For example, they're so rude, they're so arrogant to their children, making their children personalities bad. For example, in some point, I think that bad personality made by their parents can be changed by the environment, which is economic issue. I think, for example, why parents act bad to their children because they're having bad life caused by their poverty or their job, for example. When parents are successful in their working environment, in their workplace, I believe they would they might act bad to their children, right? Um, it makes, I think, their children become bad people or rude people, or even it can be also extrovert and introvert. So what I'm saying is that your personality is also made by economic issue, depending on your parents and your friends and etc. Yeah, thank you, Miss Chacha.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Angga. Okay, we're going to next slide. Okay, there is a question I want to say. What do you feel when you meet with someone who acts exactly like you, does drive the same as you, and have the same taste? It means that you meet someone that have a same frequency, and what are you feeling? Anyone wanna say something? Mr. Panji, are you there? Mr. Panji?
Yeah, I'm here. Wait a minute. Let me go to the quieter place. Right.
What are you feeling if you are meet with someone that has personality or characteristic? What are you feeling?
Well, I don't know. As far as I learned, if I meet someone that has one frequency with me, so I can say, well, I enjoy talking to them. I also, well, like I know that where do I want to bring my topic like that when I'm talking. So, yeah, generally I enjoy when I'm talking to them. But sometimes, um, yeah, for example, we meet, um, well, I'm Sangwis person, and I meet a lot of Sangwis person. I guess if I want to do something else that I want to, yeah, like um, that I really want to go outside the box or outside my my what is it like enjoyable place. So it's kind of hard. It's kind of difficult for me, right? So I need some different personalities to motivate me to go to the new place like that. So I can say, yeah, sometimes I enjoy meeting people with the same personality, but sometimes I need to bring myself to different zone like that. Yeah, that's what I'm. Yeah, that's what I can talk now. Anyway, and can I talk about personality before what is it like before you go further to your presentation?
Okay, please, Mr. Panji.
In my opinion, yeah, as you said that we were born not bringing our personality, or it's gifted. I think it's not gifted by the God, but God gave us what is that? Like a manual book. If we buy something new, so we always have manual book how to use that, how to manage or maintain that kind of thing that we have bought, right? So I think we need to learn more our manual book, human manual book like that, maybe. Like, yeah, we call it Al Quran, or your books, everybody. Like, yeah, we have a lot of books that uh, we we use that as our guidance. So from there, we know how to act. We know how to get a good behave, or how to be a good behave like that. So um, and then our family, when we were child, so we don't get our personality yet there. We just get behaviors. So we know what to do, and we know what uh, what we don't need to do like that. And from there, so we build slightly our personality when we get older, or when we grow up, when we are teenager. So we go to the next step, or the next level of personality, maybe I can say. Yeah, because toddler and until kids, or maybe toddler age, so you can say you don't know yet yourself. That's why it's your parents' duty to let you know what you need to do outside the world, what you need to do when you meet the person like this. What you need to do when you disappoint someone like that. And after that, when you are older, becoming a teenager, so you're gonna find a new world with your friends, environments we call it. So we can keep what we have learned from our parents, and we can what is that, apply that in our new world, with our environment, new environment, not in the house anymore, not at home anymore, but we are now outside, like maybe in a school, maybe in a college, maybe in a yeah, whatever you call, guys. um, and then we are still looking for our personality. But yeah, day by day, you learn something new every day. So it will build your personality until you call it mature. I have no idea what age um, that we can call someone mature. Anyway, maybe if you know the standard, maybe you can share it here. Um, but as far as I know, yeah, that's the way you can. That's the way you catch or you get your personality. So it's complicated. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Panji. Mr. Panji say that he sometimes enjoy when he spend spend his time with the people that have a similar personality, but is sometimes not all the situations, because sometimes we need to meet with the other people that have a different personality to make we are out of our comfort zone. And also you mentioned about day by day we meet something new that can influence our personality. So yes, that's all. So how about you? There is Miss Hilmia, my friend. Miss Hilmia, how are you? Long time no see you. Miss Hilmia, are you there? Miss Inches, check check. Miss Hilmia, can you hear my voice? Check check check. Okay, if Miss Hilmia don't want to say something, I want to pour in Mr. Hollis. Mr. Hollis.
Yes,
Okay, Mr. Hollis, how about you? What are you feeling if you meet someone that have a similar with you?
I think it's a relief because I hardly meet the person that same frequencies as me. Maybe if there is someone that has things like me, like you point in your presentation, it will be a good thing. Maybe some people think it's awkward because like maybe sometimes you wear the same outfit in like the party, there's a party and you wear the same outfit, or you wearing the same thing as him or her. That will be awkward, but not for me. I felt happy. We had the same taste. we can talk about what we like. Yeah, that's me. Okay, thank you. I see that Aprilianti has raised her hands. Miss Chachun.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Police. And the next one, Miss April, please, comes yours.
Okay, Miss. Uh, uh, actually, I have a best friend, and I think we have the same minded, and we have the same frequency, we have the same tendency, but we really have a different personality. So my best friend is really unstable and easily she can change her decision. Like the example when we go shopping, uh, they will she will ask me for my opinion about what she want to buy for. So it's really a good connection also for me because I have a really strong character and I have a strong uh, opinion. So sometimes if the other people not accept my opinion, it will be very hard for me. And she can uh, she can how to say it, like he makes my feeling is well, but he changed my opinion like that. So I think uh, like we really have a good connection. We really have the same minded and we really join together, uh, and also people around us said that we are the the amoeba that uh, broke into the two piece. So sometimes people that really like us and go through the same thing with us and they have the same taste with us, but they have a different personality. And it's really good because you can have the same people that always this have the same uh, like the same opinion with you, but also like in we have a gangs and we have a group girls group. We have there are 15 girls, but we also with me and with my best friend is always have the same mind. We always have the same way to think, different with the other friends, but uh, the but yeah, that's the condition. So she can help me to show or to help my to express, be calmly, to be calmly express my opinion, but also I can be stable with her to everywhere where I want to go with her. So we really help each other and with our different personality like that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Miss April. You mentioned that not all the people that have a same frequency, it indicates that they have a similar personality. It's not all like that. Because sometimes we are have a, for like your case that you have a best friend that have a same frequency but different personality. And the main point is it doesn't matter if our personality is different, but we can fulfill our differences. Okay, anyone wanna say something? There is no.
Chami raised his
Miss
hand.
Chami, Miss Chami, Miss Chami
Yeah,
or Mister? Miss Chami, please.
Miss. Yeah, thank you.
So
Yeah.
sorry.
It's okay. When I meet someone that same personality, that I will state that I'm pragmatic. So when I meet her, I have friend also that have same personality. It looks like mirroring, I think, because I can see what what I look like, from the strength or weaknesses, and it is also entertaining for me because I can share what I feel, and she can feel also what I feel. I mean, we have same frequency, and because from my personality, I have what's that high tolerance that I think it's also sometimes make me tired also. And when I tell or share with my friend, and I think I can feel that I'm not alone, and it is really make me happy. But sometimes, I mean, in other situation, I need someone that different personality also to improve my weakness. And so I think depends on the situation, when I meet same personality or different personality. I think that's all.
Okay, thank you, Miss Chami. Okay, we are going to next question. Okay, the next question is, why do you click with certain people? Anyone want to say something? Miss Daisy? Miss Who? Miss Who? Okay, please, Mr. Who. Time's yours. Mr. Who? Mr. or
Okay,
Miss?
thank you.
Okay.
Like Miss Sunshine. Thank you very much for this occasion. I'd like to demonstrate about what do you click with the certain people. Yeah, before that, we have separated, which is better for accompanying our future to do to do the daily life. So that we have to make sure to ensure what our intention is when we want. No, no, I'm not in the crew. Yeah, to ensure because we have to separate it because when we haven't made a deal with our partner to do the project or to do the something which can encourage our project in order to be clear. There is no misunderstanding when when we are doing the project, and in the middle of doing the project, when we are not put our feet flop together, it means we are one vision and one mission. It will prove the project itself. Okay, thank you, Miss Chachun.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Who. The next, I want to point one of you. I want to point Miss Livia. Miss Livia. Miss Livia.
Hello, Miss.
Okay, please say something about this question.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. Why I may feel click with certain people. I never think about this before, but because of you asked, I start to wonder like why do I feel click? Because I rarely feel really click toward a person or some group of people. Maybe because I have like often I have different perspective towards almost everything. Like when the majority of people say this thing is good, I tend to think like, is this really a good thing? Why don't if we see that thing from both of side, like the good thing and the bad thing? Because I believe that everything must have the positive and the negative side too. So that's why I never feel like I really click, because I tend to look from a multi perspective of anything. But when I feel like I really close and enjoy and comfortable with certain kind of people, it doesn't mean that we have to agree on in a lot of things, or we have the same perspective about a lot of things that happen around us. But it's more because I feel like they are non-judgmental. Like they are really okay if I have different if I have different opinion of, or if I have different standpoint from them. They never judge me for saying what I wanna say, and to be honest about my feeling to them. Like when I disagree with them, I can say that I'm disagree with you, and they accept it as, yeah, it's okay. We're all different, and it's okay to not agree with me. I feel like I really comfortable to be with that kind of people, and also people who are very open minded. Like they always respect any kind of behavior that you show, or any kind of comment that you give to them. They really appreciate that, even though it's not always agree with them. So they must be open minded. They also non-judgmental, and also they are wise. Like I like to hang out with people who are wiser than me, not always older, but usually wiser than me, because I feel like in a lot of things I have a very doubtful personality. Like I always wondering, is it right? Is it good? Is it bad? So when I hang out or I asking to the people who are wise, they can give me like the most comfortable answer that I am looking for. And I feel like, oh, they can be my guidance. Like they can give me support without judging me. It's really comfortable, and I may feel quick with them. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Miss Livia. So you are not a judgmental personality, so that's why it's hard for you to click with the other people, because yes, you believe that every single have a positive and negative sides, and you are also have a, what is it, have a job with something, so it's hard for you to click with certain people. And there is host of Ota English, the raise hand, please. Time is yours, Mr. Kibo. Mr. Kibo
Just
or Miss.
other people to speak up. It's like Mr. Sunshine.
Okay, Mr. Sunshine. Mr.
Okay.
Sunshine.
Yes, I'm here.
Please, time is yours.
Why do you click with certain people? It's not in general, it's certain people. I believe the answer is romance. So, for example, like love at the very first sight, you're going to feel like you were created for her or for him, right? And that's why, despite the differences, between you and them, you will find yourself convenient. So what I'm trying to say is something in the exact opposite of what has been said by Miss Livia, because Miss Livia felt clicking with someone when she felt convenient, and the opposite person can answer what she demand, what she wants from them, right? But what I'm trying to say right here is that clicking by romance, even though it's sometimes only for temporary, I believe that it can also accept the value of the differences and uniqueness, despite those people couldn't answer, couldn't respond to what all your expectation, but because romance influence you to be blind, regardless their age, regardless their religion, sex, education, background, social status. When you fall in love with someone, you will feel like you can click with them with any attitude, with any perception they give toward others. I think that's from me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Sunshine. And the next, Mr. Kibo, please.
So with the same question, right?
Yes.
So yeah, how to click with the person. So it depends on the situations or the field exactly. So how do you manage the people that it's click for you in your job? So you will try to filter with a different metric of you. But on the other hand, when you're trying to find the persons that's really click to be the person is like your friends and others. So I suppose that I'm trying to find with the different metrics too. So this is the reasons that in every single field that you click with the persons, yeah, you have to ask where is the place and where is the conditions. So if you have the same visions with them as a friend, yeah, you want to be productive and others, so yeah, it'll be easier for you to click with them. But another situation when you are different with them, yeah, between how the way for you to behave them as your friends, and I suppose that you will not be click with them. So this is my statement.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kibo. And next, Mr. Angga, please. Time is yours.
Thank you, Ms. Chachun. I suppose that it's more about the ideas, their purpose, and their visions. Because in my viewpoint, no matter their personalities are, whether you are introvert and extrovert, people, especially those who are in one community, for example, they are united. They are united by their visions, their purpose, right? For instance, when you're building an organization focusing on education, for example, when people have different backgrounds, different personalities, I think that's very great to color the environment, their environment, right? However, even though they have the same personality, but they don't have um, well visions, I think, as community, as one organization, one environment, I think their purpose, what dreams that they would like to build in the future will fail, I think, in my viewpoint. Therefore, for me personally, it's also related to their ideas. It's more about their visions, building in their environment. Thank you, Mr. Chachut. For instance, I just want to give another example. Like we are in OTA, right? We've been discussing for approximately probably more than or almost a year, right? But now, and people here in OTA community
Thank you,
have
Mr. Angga.
possessed different personalities. However, because they would like to pursue their English skill, they would like to enhance their English skill. We are now still discussing, still studying together because of the same purpose that I've mentioned previously. Thank you, Mr. Chachut.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Angga. Next, Ms. Safira. I saw that you raised your hand before.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I just want to wrap up. I think because all of you already know your opinion. I think why do we click with certain people? Because it is more like based on self preference. It is not just because we have the same personalities or some kind of that, but it is because of interest. It could be so many things if we talk about interest. For example, that already Mr. Shanshan have mentioned before, it could be about romance. So we want to engage with the people because we want to have some kind of romanticization with her or him. Or it could be because we want to get a help, we want to get a hint from our people. That's why we click with certain people. So it could be so many things. We we also want, sometimes we also want to click with other people is because we want to have a different nuance that we never had before. Like maybe you are a person that you used to hang out with your circle and it's kind of boring and you want to try something new. That is why you want to click with 10 people because you want to try something new and got some insight from them. So yeah, I think it's from me.
Okay, thank you, Miss Safira. Okay, jump to the next question because the time is in. Okay, the next question is, sorry. Do we need to balance our personality? Okay, Mr. Hu. Time is yours. Mr. Hu?
Right. Do we need to balance our personality? Yeah, we have to make balance our personality. For example, right now in this pandemic, when we can organize our personality, we will be stressed. For me, because I am in education sectors, it's quite difficult to motivate the students who joined in the online learning. But I would like to try to discuss with uh, the teachers to do the to do the that to make the offline program is like weekly, or the point is I choose in outside the main schedule. It's like in the weekly or in the free day. Yeah, I just do it like this. I make the what is the, how to say terobosan. Yeah, I do it like this, and I ensure with the headmaster to do the offline learning. Even though essentially in the Jabodetabek right now they can do the offline learning or breakthrough. Yeah, breakthrough. We have to make it breakthrough, and also for the smart students, they are smart, but for their confidence, they are very less of their confidence. So that it's I need to give the touch feeling, their touch feeling. I have to touch their feeling top bottom to them to do the reaction in the offline. I mean in the offline system. Yeah, because I have stuck to give the statement or to handle via online. Okay, just it. Thank you, Miss Sachin.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hu. You say that we need to balance our personality because, like you are in the educational sector as a tutor, we meet with so many students that have a different background, for example, and also have a different personality. For example, like students that really smart, but she or he really less of confidence. So we need to touch their feeling to give them motivation. So we need balancing our personality according to our students. And anyone want to give additional? Please raise your hand. There's none. Okay, we can jump to the next. Okay, the next is how to balance our personality. Please, if someone wants to give information or your point of view, raise your hand, please.
Sorry, Miss.
Oh, Miss Livia.
Yeah, I want to ask something. Actually, how was the balanced personality?
Okay, how was balanced personality?
Yes, how is the perfect balance personality? Because I don't understand how to balance the personality. So, what is the the mean of
How to balance
balance?
personality?
Yeah,
How
the
to be.
concept of balance.
Oh yeah. Okay, I want to answer based on my point of view. How to be a perfect. How to balance our personality perfectly. Your question. What question? Okay. In my point of view, we know that every single have a different personality. If we meet with someone, for example, have a sanguine personality or melancholic, phlegmatic, and so on. In my point of view, we need to, what is it? Sweet. What is it? If we, for example, like this one, if we meet a sanguine person, we have to know what is sanguine, what the characteristic, and how to click with them, because yes, it's like the case of Mr. Ho as a tutor. We face so many students that have different personality. Perhaps a member have a choleric personality. They're really diligent and really quiet. And the other side, there is students in our class that are really noisy because his personality is sanguine. And as a tutor, we need to manage so many persons, so many students that have a different personality by knowing them, knowing the characteristic, and we can touch their keep in touch with them. Like this one, like I mentioned before, that the person have a sanguine personality. As far as I know, they really like to get a prize. In English, in bahasa is suka mendapat pujian. So that's why if we face a student that have this personality, if they do something well, we need to give prize, pujian. And in another side, like when we face students that have a melancholic personality, like I already mentioned before, that the characteristic of this personality is like have a good detail or detail oriented. We need to teach with a detail because they really detail when do something like that in my point of view. Okay, anyone want to give additional? Mr. Habibi, Mr. Nurin Habibi?
Yeah. Oh wait. Yeah. I just want to make it short regarding to the confusing of the people. What the meaning of balance, the personality. Balance mean here you try to pretend. Yeah. For example, yourself as the pragmatist persons, and you meet with the sanguineous persons. So you try to pretend to be sanguineous person too. So it's the meaning of balance. Yeah, based on what Miss Chachun statement, if you're still confusing regarding the meaning of the balancing, the personality in these occasions. Yeah, I give back to Miss Chachun.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kibo. The next, anyone want to give your point of view?
Miss, so it means
Yes.
that balance means that we have to change our personality in some condition, right? That.
Yes.
Okay, Miss. Thank you, Miss. I didn't get it before.
Okay, anyone want to give additional or want to say something? Mr. Nurin Wildan Habibi, please. Time is yours.
Nothing. Just go on.
I appreciate Mr. Sunshine.
Mr. Unggul.
Mr. Unggul. Okay, please, Mr. Unggul.
Oh, thank you. Hey, my name is Aji actually. Okay. However, I've been graded from psychology back then, and the point that I know from this topic is about an adaptation, right? So I think it is good. It's not bad. But however, when we dig up more about clinical psychology, when we try to pretend a lot of times more than our personality, we will have a double personality, or it can stimulate the causality of schizophrenia in some part of time when this treatment will always be done by the people, for example. Uh, when the trigger is too high, for example, changing their personality, when they have double of personality, it can creating yeah, symptom like in the dysphoria, depression, whatever, and it can creating schizophrenia. It is good in some part because we should be flexible, right? For meeting with the people, we should sometimes pretend in some part, but when in the long time, I mean, in the condition that is tight, for example, when someone working on an office, for example, in a long time for 30 years, for example, and it should he or she should always change his personality, say to be professional and so forth. It can causing a traumatic problem in long term. But outside of that, I totally agree with some of notion that uh, in some certain of time we should be flexible. That's my only little. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Unggul. Next, Mr. Sunshine, please. Time is yours.
I think the question, not about do we need to balance our personality, but yeah, it's actually similar. I mean, like, is it totally urgent for us to balance our personality? Because in the beginning, it means as if yeah, you demand us to have double personality, like what had been said by Mr. Unggul Aji, right? Unggul Purnama Aji. Means like I ever watch. It's like how to say a Korean drama. Jack and Jill. I'm not sure about the name, but it's like someone has a split identity. It's like a multiple personality disorder. It's like it can be the personality of a child, your mother, a celebrity. I don't know. So does this kind of thing that you mean by balancing the personality, or is it actually just balancing personality? We need to make it adjusted, depends on the people who we love or who we hate, because we believe like I know that kind people is like how you always be kind toward others, yeah, regardless their attitude. But certainly, I believe that uh, if we want to do that, it's going to be heavy, even though it's possible, right? Because that is the distance or disparity of attitude that's separating us between those we love and those we hate, right? So, balancing personality, I believe that this is necessary if it's related to our self development, how to change, how to level up our self-esteem, how to boost ourselves so that we can not only become a melancholic typical person, but how when it comes to this kinds of despair situation, we can uplift our own mental, and how we can change our attitude when we are so drawn it or so weary. I believe that this is the moment that we need to balance our personality, how we can change our attitude in times that is so exactly difficult for us to do so. I think that's one. Thank you.
Okay, really great. That's one, Mr. Sunshine. Thank you. And next, Miss Livia, time is yours.
Yeah, I tend to feel like what Mr. Sansan say, that we can be flexible, either flexible and balanced, because both of the four main personality, like sanguine, phlegmatic, and choleric, and one of that, it's really have their both strength and weakness. So why don't if we combine that both of all of them into one kind of the best personality ever that we can create, into like to develop our self in daily life, like if, because we live in a world that full of different people with different personality, and why don't we try to balance for the four of them into ourselves, and then make the best of that thing, so that we can make friend with any kind of people, and not just limiting ourselves to just have one kind of personality, but rather create the more like genuine and original version of ourselves. Like when we try to label ourselves like, oh, I am introvert, so that I cannot do any kind of job that relating to meet a lot of new people, because that's scary. So it's really like downsizing your potential. Why don't we have to limiting our potential to just being introvert, when we can being extrovert sometimes, and also enjoying being introvert and being ourselves, and not have to being surrounded by a lot of people at uh in every time. Like we of course sometimes we want to like being alone and not talking to other people, when we want to like enjoying movie or spending time alone reading book. But sometimes we also feel lonely, like when we too much alone. Sometimes we think like, oh, I need someone to talk when I have problem. And when I feel bored, I really like to go traveling with some kind of my some of my friends, hang out together, go to party. It's really fulfilling when we not just limiting ourselves to one kind of personality. So I think uh, in order to make our life balance, we have to balance our personality as well, but not like what I just said, that when you try to like pretend to be the other person, that will make you like feel traumatized, and also like make you get a identity disorder. That's another thing for me. Like when you try to balance, the motivation come from within, from yourself. But if you being forced by other people to become the other people that you don't like, yeah, that's really a bad thing for yourself. But in this kind of situation, don't let people try to dictate you into what you want to be, but rather choose the best version of yourself by uh, balancing and learning and exchanging opinion, exchanging perspective toward the other person that may have really different personality than you, to enhance and embrace yourself also. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Livia. That's the statement that I really need. Okay, next, Miss Shapira. Please, time's yours.
Do I still have time? Do you still have time?
It's okay.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are. You still have time, Miss Shafira.
Okay, thank you. Um, uh, do we need to balance our personality? I think it's not quite, but it is really important, because if you go to let's say a professional environment, you have to understand there are so many people out there that not chosen in the same with your personality. So that's why you have to try to manage your personality, but it is not means that you have to master all the personality. But I believe that all of us already maybe not have a big how do we say it, like not all of us master their personality, but the basic one, I think all of us have that. It's like ambition. We all of us have that ambition to do stuff, but we are not ambitious, but we have ambition like that. So how to rebalance our personality? We don't have to master all, but we have to try that, and we have to understand that balanced personality is also matters. That is why we have to learn how do we balance our personality. It is quite um, that's good, uh, even really good statement from Kak Olivia, saying that don't try to leveling yourself. I think there are a lot of people out there that try to stigmatize things to us, and please just don't ourselves stigmatize ourselves like that. Just stop labeling yourself like that, because we can do so many things actually. Sometimes if we try to labeling ourselves, we try to make a big wall for ourselves. Like that. We cannot do this thing and those thing and like this and like that, because we make that wall for ourselves. So there's a good question too from Kak Sony. No. It's Kak Angga. How do we balance our personality? It's really matters actually. I hope that all of us could answer this, because how do we balance our personality? Sometimes have master one personality. It is hard to jump up into another personality. So how do we balance it? For me, I think we have to socialize more, because when we try to socialize more, we realize that there are so many different people out there that have so many different, and we're going, so that when we understand another person's personality, uh, we can take the good side, and we can throw up all the bad sides of them. So if to have a balanced personality, we have to destroy the wall that mentioned before.
Okay, thank you, Miss Shafira. The part need to socialize more, because yes, we know that each personality have a positive and negative, and we have to balance all of the personality. We take the positive sides and we left the negative sides of each personality. Okay, jump to the next. Now, this is still related with the previous question. Anyone want to give statement or answer with this question? How to balance personality? Mr. Panji?
Yeah, can I give a little talk? Well, as far as I know, in my opinion, we cannot balance our personality, but we can adjust, because, well, we all know that human is a social people. Um, and then there are also individual people. So I believe we master in 4 different personalities, or yeah, like you have shown me before in your slide. Um, so yeah, I can say that we need to adjust ourselves to what is it, to different personalities, because we have the ability to adjust. So when we meet different people with a different personality, well, if we are not very strong enough to make it, what is it? What is it? To make it balance, or to, yeah, to what is it? To make one frequency with them. So we don't need to force ourselves. So we know our what is it, capacity, like that. So the main point that we need to adjust with people. Yeah, I agree. We need to socialize. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Panji. Anyone want to give additional? Miss Livia, perhaps? Yeah, Miss Livia, time's yours.
Yeah, I think one of the key to how to balance the personality is quite simple, but also difficult. Simple to say, but difficult to do. Because one of the main thing that I've seen in people who has like very attractive personality is their willingness to open their mind as far as possible, and their willingness to always respect any kind of people with different personality than them. In that way, they're not just like limiting themselves to I'm the only one who is right. Like we can be both right, we can be both good, or we can be both bad, despite of what personality or what opinion that we have toward something. Like it's really balancing the differences, and like it make people feel close to each other even though they are different. Like is the way to make balance toward the other people, because we know that we are all unique and different. But how can we embrace and appreciate the differences and make the best of it by just being open mind, always respect, and always curious about what others people think and how others people do. In that way, we can learn the best thing of them and add it to ourselves to make the best thing in ourselves too. Of course, after we learn, um, after we innovate our personality by learning from the other people, of course, we still have our dominance personality within us. But that doesn't mean that you are not balanced, because in my perspective, balance it's mean that you can be like flexible and adapting to the condition that always changing. By that time, like if you wanna have a job career that related to a lot of person, how if I learn from extrovert people who really have a very good skill in socializing or negotiating or persuading other people, and after that I can hang out with a lot of people like without feeling silly or without feeling clumsy or shy, because I already learned from the extrovert people how to socialize with the other people and how to make it balance from like introvert personality by doing my best in extrovert, even though I have tendency to be introvert more. That's it, Miss. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Miss Livia. Next, Mr. Sunshine, time's yours.
Okay, so Miss Livia, talking about open-minded. So she regard the mental at utmost importance when it comes to balancing the personality. Meanwhile, Safira talked about socializing. So for her, it's really essential to have a more social exposure. But to me myself, to balance personality, you have to concern towards your financial matter, because when it comes to comfortability, you need to have good budget. You need to also design saving that you can expect it's going to benefit you in the future. When you do not have any efficient financial plan, I believe that it actually is going to hard for you to become, to change your personality, because everyone, regardless their previous personality, always seek of comfortability. And this concept of comfortability, as long as we live in this world, it all always relate to money, right? So, so to balance the personality, you must make your financial thing healthy first. Then afterward, you can move further to any kinds of means that have been proposed by previous speaker before me. Everyone can be open-minded as long as they feel like they feel secure and safe when their money is safe as well. Yeah, I think that's what me. Thank you.
check. Okay, the next Mr. Ahmad Fatullah. Time's yours. Mr. Ahmad Fatullah.
Okay, thank you for this precious time, Miss Havana. For me, there is no any terminology that discuss about balancing personality in my idea. Because I believe that there are two kinds of personality in this world. There are sociable personality and unsociable personality. That is different of each of them. I mean, something that we can choose is being one of them. So when a person is standing as a sociable person, they will try to give their influence, or maybe they will interact to people more than the other people. But oppositely, the people that has a high level of insecurity, maybe they will choose to silence and they will do nothing for their future maybe. So for me, balancing personality is quite impossible happen, and there is no any way to do it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ahmad. Next, Mr. Sonny Alfriansha. Time's yours.
Hello. Can you hear? Okay. For me, Mr. Sansans mentioned about financials, Mr. Safira about sociality, and the first one I want to give additional for emotional and spiritual. You know that we have to balance our personality based on emotional and spiritual also. For being exercise gratitude, forgiveness to hurtful people. On the other hand, one needs to get engaged with feelings of guilt, sadness, heart, empathizeness, or love, and others. Allow them to play themselves out and seeks to understand their origins to manage such uneasy emotional. And we are have a spiritual also. We have a gods, and we have to balance how can do something with our religion also, and it had to be balanced emotional and spiritual. So we can say about the ESQ, emotional spiritual questions. Is it for me? I think. Thank you, Mr. Thank you, Miss Chachun.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Sunny, because we have limited time for me to learn. Okay, we jump to the next slide. Well, this is the schema that I made, and I got this theory when I learned in Global Coffee Public Speaking School, and I learned about the similar between two personality. For example, like sanguine and melancholic have a similar in the emotional artistic mean that these two personality uh, put uh, put a big portions of feeling rather than their rational or thinking. And then choleric between choleric and phlegmatic personality, they have they also have a similar in a task oriented, means that they put a task or goals in the big portions. They don't to take socialize to be their priority. And also it happened in choleric and melancholic. This two personality also have a similar in task oriented mean that they really that really make a task or goals to be their priority. And it's different or opposite with sanguine and phlegmatic. And these two type of personality have a people oriented means that they put a socialize to be the priority. And how to balance our personality, I got a conclusions that sanguine personality really like to get a prize. And if we want to touch, keep in touch with someone that have this personality, we just need to give prize with them to them. And then to choleric personality, we have to expand our knowledge because like I already mentioned before that this personality is really like some things that relate with knowledge because this personality is really diligent, have an independent personality, ambitious. So if I am a choleric person, I really like to meet or chit chat with other people that have really good insights or really good knowledge. And if we want to, what is it? If we want to conquer or menaklukkan a melancholic person, we need to show evidence because yes, melancholic personality is really loyal. They are deep thinker and deep thinking, deep thinker and deep feelers. So that's why uh, they don't need the price. They don't need a good knowledge, but they need our evidence to show for them. And then about phlegmatic personality, we only need to make them happy to keep in touch with them. So it's my opinion and the conclusion that I get from what I already learned before. And if you want to give argument or interruption, please. Mr. Sonny, please, time is yours. Mr. Sonny.
Hi, hello. Yes. Conclusion for what?
Huh?
Conclusion for what? For discussion tonight?
No, I mean that I want to give a conclusion from my previous question about how to balance personality. We need to know how to conquer that personality. So that's why I mentioned about how to conquer sanguine personality, choleric, melancholic, phlegmatic. And how about you? Want to give additional or want to interrupt?
Okay. Actually, I have a read about this, but I forgot. Uh, yeah, we have four: sanguine, choleric, phlegmatic, and melancholic. Is best our habit also, and when we conduct something like that, doing solving our problem also. Sanguines about emotional artistic is best about what is it? Or prophet of Japanese is really two kinds. I think for me, and choleric is about text oriented. It seems like we had to give some stats for dance or something else, and text oriented also is make happy. Yeah, choleric is best about genius peoples. genius peoples, and text oriented for pragmatic is about happier, when always happy. I have a friends, I don't know, is pragmatics or melancholics. Um, I confuse what is step for this pragmatic or melancholics. It's always love, but it has emotional also. What is maybe I want to I want to give a question for Miss Chachun also. Is about pragmatic or melancholic, or is a part of, is a middle pragmatic or melancholic? And this melancholic is about emotional, you know. It's like Mudian in Indonesia. uh, it's a for me, Miss Chachun. And please answer my questions when I have a friends with pragmatic and melancholic also.
Okay,
Yeah.
I want to answer your question, but this is the conclusion also, because like I already said before, the melancholic is characterized when the people have what is it, deep thinker, deep feeling, and then about phlegmatic person is really peaceful and have a high tolerance. But so sorry because the time is up. Thank you for your thank you for all of the participants that already attend this weekly discussions. Back to the house. Back to the host. Mr. Kibo.
Okay, thank you. So please your slide. Okay, thank you. So this is the conclusions of Ms. Chachun's as our topic for today, that's talking regarding to the psychologists. I know the several person here from psychologists too, and you can give the several additional regarding to the statement that have given by Ms. Chachun. Thank you so much, guys. So regarding to our discussion last time, I will give the several feedback for our English. Ya, ini ada beberapa vocabularies tadi yang lumayan keluar ya. Pertama kayak ada open minded ya, close minded, absent minded, sharp minded ya, light back, hard working, self conscious, hard headed. Terus juga ada two faced, old fashioned, cold blooded, short tempered, breakthrough, pretend, conquer. Terus juga ya ada beberapa grammar yang biasanya kalau kalimat verbal, contohnya saya nggak punya, bahasa Inggrisnya bukan I'm not have ya. Kalau verbal atau kalimat yang punya aktivitas seperti ada have seperti itu yang merupakan kata kerja, jadi bilangnya I do not have, bukan I'm not have. Nah, ntar kalau lebih lanjutnya buat teman-teman semua, teman-teman bisa nyari di internet materinya kalimat verbal dan non-verbal ya. Kalimat verbal dan non-verbal. Ketika teman-teman masih ada yang salah tadi. Dan juga terakhir ada beberapa tambahan juga di sini buat teman-teman yang buat teman-teman yang masih banget nih sering menggunakan vocab-vocab yang common banget. Di sini saya belajar di sini dari beberapa teman-teman kayak Mr. Sunshine ya. Ini Mr. Sunshine-nya IELTS-nya tahu nggak berapa? 8. Nah, jadi buat teman-teman yang mau belajar IELTS bisa langsung hubungi Mr. Sunshine. Ya, ini ada beberapa vocab-vocab nih yang mungkin teman-teman bisa tahu di sini. Contohnya I think, ya, jangan menggunakan I think mulu. Ini ada beberapa vocab-vocab yang bisa teman-teman ganti. Seperti contohnya teman-teman bisa menggunakan I suppose, I believe, in my opinion dan sebagainya. Enough juga banyak tadi menggunakannya. Jadi common kata-kata ini bisa teman-teman ubah ke sinonimnya yang berupa vocab-vocab yang di sampingnya. Contohnya ada enough, advantage ya, disadvantage, effect, good, bad yang sering kali important, think paling sering saya dengar tadi, terus get, say, about, can, maybe dan sebagainya. Jadi buat teman-teman semua supaya vocabnya lebih lebih advance dan juga ada variasi di speakingnya. Saran saya kalau di kalimat pertama biasanya kita menggunakan I think, di kalimat kedua jangan menggunakan I think lagi. Mungkin bisa menggunakan I suppose dan sebagainya. Nah, setelah ini saya bakal nge-share vocab-vocab ini di grup yang bisa teman-teman hafal ya atau teman pelajari dan teman-teman bisa implementasikan ke meeting selanjutnya. Nah, minggu besok kita juga bakal tetap jalan ya bareng-bareng teman-teman yang lain. Kita founder saya Angga, Suni, terus ada Fitra, ada Mr. Kodori, Aji mengucapkan selamat berpuasa bagi teman-teman yang Muslim. Ya, kita masih tetap jalan pada hari Minggunya untuk diskusi seperti ini di sini. Dan juga jangan lupa minggu besok kita bakal mau bahas topik yang berbeda lagi, nggak berbicara psikologi saja. Besok mungkin kita berbicara tentang education, pendidikan, yang mungkin besok bakal di-hostin oleh Mr. Angga. Nah, Mr. Angga ini juga keren nih, teman-teman juga bisa keep in touch sama beliau. Beliau juga salah satu mahasiswa dari mana enggak? Lupa gue enggak? NUSW enggak? Di Australia.
Belum. Calon.
Mau berangkat ya. Award LPDP juga. Jadi buat teman-teman semua ini Aji tadi yang unggul Aji tuh kuliah di Amerika dan sebagainya. Mr. Sunshine IELTS-nya udah readingnya 8, overall-nya berapa 7,5 ya. Jadi bisa teman-teman manfaatin di sini. Jadi kita ini di sini fokusnya nge-share sesuatu supaya kita bisa belajar bareng-bareng di sini. Jadi buat teman-teman semua sampai ketemu minggu depan. Sampai ketemu untuk membahas topik-topik yang lain. Semoga bisa ya progres lebih lanjut lagi di speakingnya, bahasa Inggrisnya dan wawasannya intinya di situ. Itu saja. Thank you so much. Oh yeah, we forget to take a picture together. So please turn on your camera. Oke. Terus lupa cara fotonya gue sih. Yuk, 3, 2, 1, go. Slide 1, gaya 1. Slide 2, gaya 2. Slide 3, slide 4, 5, and 6. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for coming and see you next week. Hell, Ota.
Yesterday.
Say tomorrow.
Yesterday, you said tomorrow.
Thank you.
Tomorrow. See you next week.